what were some of those struggles and success? Did you just come out, hit the ground running, or, did you have some successes or some failures along the way?
Oh yeah, I mean, every day that you can find something that you either succeed or fail in real estate, and it's all life lessons and what you learn from it. But I remember when everything went down; it went down fast, and I was doing pretty well. This was way before people even had teams, and I hooked up with another agent that she was a very seasoned agent. She did not want to work nights or weekends anymore. And I'm like, listen, I have three little kids. So I'll work nights and weekends. You work the day, and we'll figure this out. And it worked really well for us for a very long time. And during that point of time, everything crashed. And so we very quickly realized, okay, we'll do the Fannie Mae's, the Freddie Macs, whatever we need to do. And that was our hustle. And there was this older agent in the office, and she was used to selling really fancy homes. And she said, "You know what? It's done. I'm not going to go sell double wides." And I'm like, "I will be the queen of the double wide trailer. Whatever you need me to do, I'm in it." And then I was like, it was like that aha opportunity. I'm like, I realized very quickly that most of these older agents were going to get out, and I could gain the market, get the market share, and keep it, and then move forward when it got better.
Yeah. What did you have any guidance to go and partner up with that more experienced agent, or was it just kind of gut feeling, or it just happened?
I think it goes back to me always wanting to be like a team, a team
Yeah.
player. And I knew that she was seasoned and she had a great name and a good reputation, and she didn't want to do the things that I was willing to do. And I thought, if I do this for a while with her, it'll catapult me to the next level that I need to be. Because at that point in time, I still have young kids, but I know my son's getting ready to go to kindergarten soon. And you go from a part-time agent to a full-time role. And I really, really loved it. I loved everything about real estate. I loved the transactions. And, you start out and a lot of times you're the buyer's agent. And if you pay attention to those people, they're going to quickly become sellers in 3 to 5 years, and you just have to nurture
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I started out on a team since day one of my career, still on the same team, had that mentor. I think that's the number one thing that, new agents truly need to consider. Putting ego aside or whatnot, find that person, whether it's an individual or a team, that will take you under their wing, that will show you the ropes for the first 12 to 24 months, show you how business is done, and then go out on your own if you want to. And I think a lot of times just ego gets in the way. Same thing for the older agents that you saw, right? They didn't want to, their ego is the one thing that stopped them from pivoting their business to make it through that recession.
Absolutely.
So walk me through, oh 07, oh 08, oh 09, you're getting through that market. You're willing to do anything. You're out there hustling, right? I always say a dollar is a dollar. I don't care where it comes from. I got in 2011, so I sold REOs.
Yeah.
That's how I cut my teeth. Um, Lead me to that point of like, okay, I made it through, and now I'm ready to go and do my own thing. Start your brokerage.
I just knew that I wanted something bigger and better, and I'd kind of hit that glass ceiling, and nobody else around me wanted to go. And when you're really looking at who the five people that you're hanging out with the most, you've got to be challenged. And I didn't wasn't challenged any longer. So I took the leap of faith and started my own small brokerage, and made many mistakes along the way. I had a lot of great people stay for a very long time. I also had a lot of people that were part time, or came to me, and they wanted my leads and everything else. And it was great. It was great until it wasn't great. But I always tried to be the mentor to everyone else and teach them how to be that good listing agent, the good buyer's agent, and to do your homework first going in, so that you would get the deal, however you needed to do it. So, when I started this and then opened up my own brokerage, I really didn't even have a lot of time to wrap around my head, like, okay, this is it. Like, let's go. And I don't know, you work really hard, you work a lot of hours, and you just focus, and you have to be able to give up a lot of other things. And at that point in time, I quickly realized, okay, I don't have time for anything else but real estate and my kids. And
Yeah.
that's what I focused on.
I think that's one of the things that some agents don't understand. I just had this conversation with an agent today, the sacrifices it takes, right? And I'm not even talking big sacrifices. I'm talking about if you want to go from 2 transactions to 5 transactions a year, there's a certain level of sacrifices that need to happen. If you want to go from 10 to 15, 15 to 30, 30 to 60, and so forth, you have to get clear on what those priorities are and what those sacrifices are going to be and what are you willing to do in order to get there. It's I know social media is now the thing where we see all of the end results, the closings and the listings and the flashy cars and the vacations and all those things, but you know, the top performing people and agents in our business, they are dedicated and disciplined and they sacrifice a ton to get to that
They
level.
they do. I mean, you see anyone that's at a very top, high functioning level, they've really sacrificed a lot to get there. And I think a lot of people really, really quickly think that they can become that person. It takes years and years of discipline.
Yeah. Kelly, what's one thing if someone's thinking about starting their own brokerage, um, what's one thing that you took away from that experience that maybe you would do over again?
Hmm. I think if I had it to do all over again, my biggest problem was that I didn't put systems in place early enough for myself and other people. And that was a journey I had to take. And until I could figure out how to get the systems and the models and go from there. And the other big thing too is that a lot of times as a broker, or if you're going to own the brokerage, you people aren't going to like what you have to say. The agents aren't going to like you, and that's okay. You just have to get a very thick skin and know you're in it for a reason and you want to do, I always say I want to give my clients 5-star service. And if you're not willing to show up every day and do that, then maybe you should go somewhere else.
Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest things that agents struggle with on a consistent basis is the working on the business, the systems, the processes, all of the behind the scenes things that doesn't necessarily produce the results right now, but will down the road. And one of the things that my mentor has always taught me was, what do you want in 10 years? And you need to start putting those things in place today, right? And you don't want to wait 10 years and then start doing it because now you're behind, And I think the working on the business of where you're actually putting in the systems and creating your business to be system dependent and not people dependent is a struggle for a lot of us.
I think the biggest mistake that most of us make is that we try to hire a bunch of people all at once and we don't start with the fundamentals of the systems and getting an admin in place so that you can go to that next level.
Yeah, no, I agree. Kelly, kind of lead me up to current day. What was business like 2013, 2014, and all the way up to current day?
So, we were rocking and rolling at that point. We're doing really well. I was getting to the point where I was getting a little comfortable and I wasn't enjoying it as much. And I had to really strongly take sit back and go, "What? Okay, Kelly, what's going on? Like, why are you not happy? Because you're making money and you are doing really well in this town." And I had to really look around. And once again, it comes back to who are the 5 people that you're hanging around with the most. And I'll never forget, my daughter at the time had won an award in Florida. And my partner, Mike, and we traveled up, we took this huge hike, we got to the top of it. And I'm just like, clarity just hit me. Like had, I was at this glass ceiling and I needed to break through. And, I came back. I had hired a coach at the time. I did not have a coach before. I didn't even know what that meant. And someone told me, "Kelly, you need a coach." So I'm like, "Oh, sure." So I went and got a coach. And then that coach led me into another direction of, maybe should consider something else. And, I was kind of open to it. And then I was able to have a discussion. And everyone thought I was crazy when I said I was going to merge with Keller Williams and give up my independent Kelly Wiley Realty. But for me, I knew to go to that next level because I was hovering around 11 to 14 million at that point. I just couldn't
Yeah.
seem to go any further. And I'm like, I think I could go bigger and better. Let's see what we can do. And we did. And we literally, it was like overnight. And I will tell you, every single person in my office walked out and left me.
Yeah. And again, ego, right? Like
Yeah.
not having an ego. Like sometimes, we were vetting out a company here recently, and the question was, do we want to continue to try to build it ourselves, or do we want to align with this company to, in theory, spring us forward quicker, right? And I think sometimes it's that, right? It's potentially joining the team that already has the systems in place. Sometimes it's going to the different brokerage to have, the training or the systems or whatever, that can, or maybe it's just changing the environment, to get around bigger thinkers. Sometimes it's that, that you need to get your business to the next level.
For sure. And that's really what I was craving, something bigger. And
Yeah.
I love that was the one thing I did love about the corporate world was the team building and your Six Sigma or different things that could bring to the table. And I'm like, okay, I need to figure this out in a different way. And also at the same time, working in your business, I needed to work on my business because, I'm not getting any younger. So how am I going to build a retirement for myself? What's the legacy that I'm going to be able to leave so that I can have generational wealth?
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, that's awesome. And how long have you been with Keller Williams now?
I will be there 3 years this summer. I actually joined right during the pandemic, and I had no idea it was coming. So it was like a complete shutdown, learning Zoom, learning everything all at the same time, and I was just completely at ease, and I knew it was the right decision for me. I was able to keep my office, and I grew my team, and I was able to select some people to be on my team with me, and at that moment in time, I said, anyone that came with me or anyone that I brought in, I have models and systems. I'm going to teach you how to do it the way I'm doing it so that you can become the best version of yourself. But also, I'm going to give you an opportunity to grow in this company so that you never have to leave.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And I think that's where some agents, struggle is they feel like they have to leave in order to go to that next level. And I think from a team and brokerage standpoint, that's the next iteration of teams, right? Like when I got in 2011, teams were starting to become the thing, and it was like, oh, we'll provide leads. Well, now everyone has leads, right? And then it's like,
Right.
oh, we got training. Well, everyone has training now, and it's like, okay, what's that next stage of teams, and that, where does the agent fit in, and what's that true value? And I think you're nailing it. Of you should never feel like you have to leave because there's always room for growth. What does that look like? I think that's the
Absolutely.
next question that team leaders have to solve for.
If they don't figure that out pretty quickly, then we're gonna have some problems. And the biggest thing in teams is that you should be able to build teams within teams so that they never have to feel like they have to leave. And they should be
Yeah,
able to come to their person and say, I want to grow. How can we do this together?
yeah, 100%, 100%.